Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So, in today's lecture, we shall be starting with a new unit that is irrigation as promised. So, with this unit, let me just write the name of the unit. We are we are beginning with irrigation. Irrigation का मतलब क्या होता है? This is just a normal figure from online. Okay. Irrigation refers to you are providing water to your fields. Like बारिश तो मौसमी है, ठीक है? It is like rainfall को अगर बोला जाए तो rainfall it is a natural phenomena. क्योंकि ये नेचुरल फिनोमेना है तो वी डू नॉट हैव एनी कंट्रोल. ठीक है, नेचुरल से ही पता चल जाता है. नो मैन कंट्रोल. अब क्योंकि कंट्रोल नहीं है एंड आवर फील्ड नीड्स वाटर एंड रेन इज नॉट कमिंग, तो पानी प्रोवाइड कराना पड़ेगा. एंड इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि हम सिर्फ मॉनसून सीजन के टाइम पर ही वी विल बी ग्रोइंग क्रॉप्स. क्रॉप्स तो थ्रू आउट द ईयर उगते हैं, एज वी हैव सीन राबी, जैद और खारिफ तीनों टाइप के क्रॉप्स उगते हैं इवन विदाउट द मॉनसून सीजन. तो हम लोग क्या प्रेफर करते हैं? वी प्रेफर दैट since there is no natural phenomena under man's control, therefore what we can do is we can just take the help of man-made sources of water. These man-made sources of water will help to supply water to the fields when there will be no rainfall. ठीक है, या फिर rainfall season कम होगा तब हमें तब we can supply water to the fields. और this man-made sources को ही we name as irrigation. ठीक है, I hope the definition is clear. Now you can frame the sentence in your mind as well, how you can frame it, how you can use it like that. Okay, so this was all about irrigation. Let's come to the main topic. Irrigation, meaning and importance of irrigation. So irrigation is artificial method. It is not natural process, it is an artificial process of water to agriculture land at regular intervals to supplement rainfall for crop growth. Like in India, irrigation plays vital role due to seasonal uneven and uncertain nature of rainfall. Though we all know the climate of, we can say, the climate of India is what type, since we have studied the climate. So, climate of India has been categorized in which type? This will be your homework to type in the comment section कि हमारा जो climate है वो कौन से type का है. So definition we have started, and what is the role of irrigation? Because we are having uneven sort of rainfall, therefore we need irrigation. Now when we talk about the aspect and its importance, the aspect के बारे में जान लेते हैं. First, it says crop security. Since crop is being secured or being helpful in or interference or enhanced in its growth via supplement of the water, therefore इसके लिए we need. Next is cropping intensity. Intensity is again increased via irrigation. Then food security, economic development, and regional balance. When food will be secured, people would be having large amount of food to eat. Therefore, they will be showing what economic type of development would be there. Okay? Which will be bringing the regional balance. That is, inter-regional disparities won't be there. Due to which we would be having inter-regional connectivities. Now we come on to the factors affecting development of irrigation. पहला तो natural sources से ही we would be collecting water, and after the collection the water needs to be stored so that later on that water could be provided to the fields. So on those basis only we can refer to the development of irrigation. So coming on to this part, ये होमवर्क आपका लिखा रहने देते हैं so that it stays in your mind. थ्रू आउट द लेक्चर, ठीक है, आप लोग भूलो नहीं। ओके, then we have the factors affecting the development of irrigation. When we talk about the factors affecting, तो पहला फैक्टर होगा रेनफॉल। तो सबसे ज्यादा रेनफॉल के बारे में, रेनफॉल की वेरिएबिलिटी को हमें जानना है, कितना अमाउंट ऑफ रेनफॉल आ गई है। सपोजिटली आपका जो लैंड था उसके ऊपर ऑलरेडी इतनी बारिश हो चुकी है कि आपको और रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है, तो व्हाट विल वी से कि ज्यादा हमें आर्टिफिशियल चीजों की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज द रेनफॉल हैज been very sufficient in itself, therefore we do not require large amount of water to supply to the crops, ठीक है। तो वैसे you can say, then we have the relief and the slope features. When we talk about the relief and the slope features, when we talk about the mountains or we can say the valleys, it is very difficult to build the canals, the bridges and all, therefore it is very preferable that we make canals on the plain surfaces। तो जहां पर भी प्लेन एरिया होगा और वहां पर फील्ड होगी, बारिश कम आती होगी, on that basis we can make canals and we can use ट्यूबवेल्स as well। ट्यूबवेल का यूज हम कब करेंगे, जहां पर पता है कि प्रोडक्टिविटी लार्ज अमाउंट में होगी। सिंस द प्रोडक्टिविटी विल बी इन द लार्ज अमाउंट, हमारी जो कह सकते हैं हमारी जो फील्ड है वो थोड़ी बड़ी है, तो प्रेशर के थ्रू हमें पानी पहुंचाना है, एंड व्हेन द प्रेशर इज रिक्वायर्ड, सो दैट विल बी गिवन टू अस बाय द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। सिंस वी आर यूजिंग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, इट वुड बी द कॉस्टली थिंग। इनपुट कॉस्टली है तो आउटपुट भी कॉस्टली आना चाहिए, क्योंकि बड़ी फील्ड है, ज्यादा क्रॉप्स आएंगे तो आउटपुट कॉस्टली हो जाएगा। तो ये इंटरनल या फिर पर्सनल रेफरेंसेस भी हो सकते हैं। देन वी हैव द सॉइल टाइप, व्हाट सॉइल इज देयर। अगर आपकी सॉइल बहुत ही ज्यादा ड्राई है, सपोजिटली अगर आप प्लांटेशन कर रहे हो इन द रीजन से राजस्थान, हरियाणा, पंजाब, गुजरात, इन सब जगहों पर अगर आप प्लांटेशन कर रहे हो, तो यू विल द सॉइल ओवर देयर इज क्वाइट ड्राई टाइप ऑफ सॉइल। सिंस द सॉइल इज ड्राई, लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड depending on what type of crop you are growing, क्योंकि कुछ crops are there like millets, they require very less amount of water, so on that basis, if your soil is somewhat clayey type that can retain water, that can hold water for certain period of time, and if you will provide more water to it, water clogging will happen, तो वो भी नहीं चाहिए, तो that also one should keep in mind। When we come on to the river system, which type of rivers are there, whether there are perennial rivers or there are rivers, okay, perennial rivers are those rivers that stay, or we can say that have water throughout the year, so those are the types of perennial rivers। so if there are perennial rivers, so less canals or less we can say less sources will be required, because perennial river is there, so throughout the water will be flowing, okay, like that also। then we have the capital and technology। once you have all the set the environmental factors and the relief feature factors you have in your mind, then you will go to the capital, like what amount you have in your hand that you can spend on this particular thing after spending it already on getting the fertilizers and the seeds of the varied variety and high yielding, okay। so then only you would be using those capital like money on the technology that you need to process or you need to enhance your crop productivity। Next are the major types of irrigation in India. So the question can come from this part because it holds great importance. So when we talk about this part, major crops grown in India. Okay. Okay. Major types of crops in India, you can mark this point as important. They talk about first the canal irrigation. Canal irrigation could involve the use of large amount of capital, and this is basically preferred under the guidance of the government। तो जहाँ गवर्नमेंट को लगेगा कि हाँ there are various farmers, various fields over here they are working, therefore there will be certain कानूनी कार्रवाई जिसको आप बोलते हो, तो government work would be there, that would be conducted, and after the consent of the government, several places would be set after the consent of the engineer, certified engineer, उसके बाद जाकर के there would be the canal formation। तो canal irrigation is one most type और मेजरली देखा कहाँ पर जाता है, नॉर्दर्न प्लेन्स या फिर डेल्टाइक रीजन्स में आप इसको देख सकते हो। इससे अश्योर्ड वाटर सप्लाई और लार्ज कवरेज इज देयर, यू कैन मेंशन इट एज लार्ज coverage. So large coverage, since canal is built after the consent of the government, therefore government will be having a varied view, like the large point of view they would be showing, so that the most of the people can take use of it. Therefore, they are saying large cover. So what are its limitations? Limitations are like salinity could be there, like the water that has been provided could be composed of the salt, therefore making it saline, and the deposits of the salt can contaminate your crops. So this is basically the limitation. Another probability of getting the soil, crops destroyed is waterlogging. So waterlogging is again very particular thing that could be a limitation for certain sort types of irrigation. Then we have the well and the tube wells. So well and the tube wells are nothing but they are getting the underground water. So due to since we are using well and tube wells on the larger, we can say, area or larger pace, therefore the underground level degradation of the water is there. So declining of the water level is getting destroyed every now and then, because we are using underground water every now and then so as to supply water to the field. So this could be its limitation. When we talk about its areas are usually Punjab, Haryana and UP. And the advantages are that it again helps pushes water with a great flow, which helps to supply large amount of water or without consuming manpower. And it is could be costly sometimes, and since electricity is very, we can say, very cheap nowadays, therefore it has a new advantage which says that it is low in cost. Then we come on to the tank irrigation. Tank irrigation is found in peninsular plateau. Tank irrigation could be your important type. What are its advantages? Again, it has low cost and local resources are there. Resources are very local, therefore it could be refilled and could be reused. But the problem is contamination again, so that has to be taken care of. When we talk about the lift irrigation, it is basically done in the southern portion of India where there are uneven terrain. Then high energy cost is required because you need to pull water, you need to lift large amount of water, and lifting large amount or moving large amount of machine or larger machines require large amount of energy as compared to the energy required to get the water out of well and tube well. Therefore, what will happen is lift irrigation turns out to be a costly method. Then we have the drip irrigation, most important method. You can mark it as most important method, drip irrigation. Why? Because drip irrigation is highly costly. And what happens in drip irrigation? Let's talk about drip irrigation. जब हम लोग बात करते हैं ड्रिप इरिगेशन की, it has a picture. Let's say, let me just show you a picture of drip irrigation. Any other? Okay, we are getting two photos. Okay, one is this. As you can see, the clear view in this picture. This is the hole in itself, the drip irrigation, and this is how it works. You must have seen it in the park areas and all. So there also it is visible like this. These are the stands. These are basically the stands, and this, there's a spin which keeps on rolling. So that is drip irrigation by a stand. Another type of drip irrigation is this pipe. Whole pipe goes, and this pipe has small type of holes in itself, which are specified to particular plant. Say If I have a plant over here, say my this there would be hole over here, hole over here, hole over here, and hole over here, and from this drop of water will be continuously shed in the directly into the plant, therefore there will be less wastage of water. So these are the type of this is the type of drip irrigation, and this type of drip, this is not basically the drip irrigation, it is sprinkler type of irrigation. Sprinkler type of irrigation. In this type of irrigation, what happens is, pehle to the pipes would be there. Since the pipes are there, they would be having a long tube, and this long tube has a rotator in itself, which will keep on rotating at its position, at its axis maintained, and since axis is maintained, it is rotating. So therefore, large amount of water is shed to the fields. But the point over here is that the water over here cannot go to the larger places. मतलब ज़्यादा दूर तक नहीं जा सकता है पानी, क्योंकि इसकी जो एक्सिस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा फिक्स्ड है. देयरफॉर किसी एक पर्टिकुलर लेंथ तक ही जो पानी होगा वो जा पाएगा, और जब प्रेशर कम हो जाता है, जो लेंथ होती है दैट इज बेसिकली डिक्रीज. तो ये एक लिमिटेशन हो गई इसकी. यहाँ पर अगर हम बात करते हैं ड्रिप इरिगेशन की, होल्स होते हैं पाइप के अंदर. अगर पाइप का कोई भी होल खराब हो जाता है, सपोजिटली कोई भी 2-4 होल खराब हो गए हैं, तो दैट पोर्शन ऑफ द वी कैन से प्लांट और द क्रॉप विल नॉट बी रिसीविंग वाटर. पहला, अगर पूरा पाइप आपको इंस्टॉल कराते हो तो दैट इज अ कॉस्टली इफेक्ट, एंड मेंटेनेंस इज अगेन अ कॉस्टली इफेक्ट, बिकॉज देयर आर एनिमल्स दैट कैन कम, दैट कैन बाइट इट, दैट कैन गेट एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ इंजरी, देयर कैन बी एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ इंजरी टू द एनिमल्स और टू आर प्लांट्स एज वेल. या फिर आप पाइप्स के लिए भी कह सकते हो. तो इंस्टॉलेशन का कॉस्ट तो हाई होता ही है, और साथ में मेंटेनेंस का कॉस्ट भी बहुत ज़्यादा हाई होता है, क्योंकि अगर कोई भी पाइप का होल अगर खराब हो जाता है तो यू नीड टू गेट इट रिप्लेस थ्रू आउट, बिकॉज पाइप इज कनेक्टेड, देर इज नो अनदर वे टू गेट द पाइप, हाफ ऑफ द पाइप गेट रिप्लेस्ड. तो बेसिकली यही एडवांटेजेस डिसएडवांटेजेस थे स्प्रिंकल टाइप के, और इसको कह सकते हो आप ड्रिप इरिगेशन. दिस इज योर ड्रिप इरिगेशन. ठीक है. So I hope drip irrigation or sprinkler type of irrigation के बारे में you now know and how they work and what are their processes. So coming back to our topic, that is the major multi-purpose river valleys. When we talk about major multi-purpose river valleys, we have nothing but we need to learn these directly. Like Barkha. इससे भी क्वेश्चन आ जाते हैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. दे कैन आस्क यू व्हाट आर मल्टीपर्पज रिवर प्रोजेक्ट वैलीज, नेम सम, कौन से स्टेट में है, विच रिवर इज बेसिकली एसोसिएटेड विद दैट, तो लाइक दैट. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट बरखा नांगल प्रोजेक्ट, see R over here is there, sorry, हाँ, बरखा रेफर्स फॉर यू कैन से बादल जिसको बोलते हैं, या फिर क्लाउड्स, एंड क्लाउड से ही देयर इज अनदर सिनोनिम दैट रेफर्स टू सतलज. तो बरखा एंड सतलज are basically related, and this is found basically in the region, say northern region of India. So this will be your northern region. ठीक है. यहाँ पर इस रीजन में मोस्टली, ये थोड़ा और ऊपर अगर हम कर देते हैं इसको, is happening, ठीक है, like this. In this region you can find your Barkha Nangal project where river Sutlej is there. When we talk about the Hirakund, Hirakund refers to Mahanadi, H for Hirakund, and Mahanadi, H for Mahanadi, therefore like this you can learn, and it is found in Odisha. When we talk about Damodar Valley, again river Damodar. Damodar refers to Damodar. We have Nagarjun Sagar. Nagarjun, Arjun and Nag are basically related to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu has a new avatar, has his own avatar named Lord Krishna. So like this you can remember. Then we have Sardar Sarovar, which is again related to, it is a big name. Sardar Sarovar is a big name, and the biggest river is Narmada River. So like this you can relate. Again, Barkha has its name in its cloud, which is related to river Sutlej. Then we have Hirakund, H for Hirakund, H for Mahanadi. Then we have Damodar Valley for Damodar. Nagarjun Sagar, Nagarjun, related to Lord Vishnu, related to Lord Krishna, therefore Krishna Nadi. Sardar Sarovar, Sardar is a big name, therefore big name has its big river, namely Narmada. And relatively, you can learn the states as well. Then there are certain problems in irrigation of India. इससे बहुत बार क्वेश्चन आया है PYQ में. When we will discuss PYQ, we will have this question over there. So let's understand it. Problems of irrigation. Yeah. Problems of irrigation says first problem would be the water logging problem. Water logging problem is no problem, but the water would be logged. Another problem would be the cost problem. First problem and the second problem are very clear to us. But since when we were talking about the uh, collecting water and getting into the resources, from the water resources we were collecting the water, and then we were storing it either in the canal, water tanks, or lifting, for lifting purposes we were storing. There was the problem of contamination due to the presence of the salt that was making the we can say water saline. Therefore the salinity and the alkalinity problem. Alkalinity refers to addition of bases. Since we have the salt over here, so bases are also present. So because of the chemicals we are using, bases are there, and when bases are there, it refers to alkalinity. So there must be some crops जिनको acidic pH चाहिए. When we talk about acidic pH, the soil has to maintain its acidic pH so that the crops can grow. ठीक है. If there are certain crops जिनकी pH acidity में ज़्यादा अच्छी होती है, like जिनको pH acidity वाली चाहिए ताकि वो अच्छे से grow कर पाए आगे जा करके, तो उनके लिए problem हो जाएगी because alkalinity is reverse of acidity. ठीक है. Then we have the groundwater depletion. Since we were using water tanks, sorry, water wells and tube wells, what happens is this is the ground level, and from this ground level what is happening, we are drawing water continuously. We are drawing water. Since we are drawing water, after certain period of time, in the new era what will happen, this ground level will now be distorted to the newly developed ground level. Newly, actually this is not developed, this is depleted ground level because the ground level has decreased. So this refers to overusing. We are overusing the groundwater which is not being supplied डायरेक्टली, बिकॉज यूज तो हम पूरा कर लेते हैं, बट जब हमारी भरने की बारी आती है तो वी आर नॉट पुटिंग इट बैक दैट मच द अमाउंट दैट वी आर यूजिंग. Then we have the regional imbalance. Obviously the regional imbalance refers to unequal distribution of irrigation facilities. जो facilities हरियाणा, गुजरात, पंजाब को मिल रही हैं, वो facilities कर्नाटका, उड़ीसा को नहीं मिल पा रही. Similarly जो facilities कर्नाटका, ओडिशा को मिल पा रही हैं, वो फैसिलिटीज असम, नागालैंड को भी नहीं मिल पा रही. तो लाइक दिस देयर इज अ रीजनल इम्बैलेंस. सो दीज आर बेसिकली द प्रॉब्लम्स. इफ यू विल राइट दिस क्वेश्चन और दिस आंसर in your question paper, in your answer sheet, you will be getting full marks like this if you will draw a table. Then we come on to the previous year questions that says, few questions we have. Okay. First question says, discuss the importance of irrigation in Indian agriculture. As we have just discovered the importance शुरुआत में ही सबसे पहले डिस्कस किया था, जो कहता है क्या, This one. This one shall be your answer number 1. Here we have answer 1. Like this, you can mention, first of all, you need to mention about the definition and then these points, and this will be your conclusion as well. Coming on to the next question. Next question says, examine the regional pattern of irrigation in India. For regional pattern of irrigation in India, we have major types of irrigation in India along with their areas. Along with their areas, we have answer number 2 over here. Like this type of irrigation along with their areas, if you will mention, only this much would be sufficient. They're not asking you about the advantages and disadvantages. If you need to attract the attention, more attention, and if you have learned them, you can mention either 1 or 2 advantages and limitations. So this is your answer number 2. Coming on to the answer number 3, compare the canal and the tube well irrigation. So for comparison also, you can directly go to this table. Going directly to this table, you can mention canal and which type of one they want. Canal and well type, I guess. Canal and tube well type. For canal and tube well type. So in that, you can directly mention 2 points from here. This canal and this well and tube well. If you will mention advantages, 1 point would be your C. Coming to this slide, answer number 3. Answer 3. Here you will write canal, here you will write well, and here you will write the type you will be including. First you will write the definition, what is canal type and what is well type. Then you will be writing the areas. यहाँ पर लिखेंगे आप लोग एरिया. First point, second point, like this you will be mentioning the area. After mentioning you will mention the advantage, 2 advantage and limitation आप mention कर सकते हो. 2 limitation. जो एडवांटेज इसके होंगे उसकी वो यहाँ पर लिमिटेशन लिखोगे, जो लिमिटेशन इसकी होगी यहाँ पर उससे रिलेटेड एडवांटेजेस लिखोगे, या फिर आप डायरेक्टली भी लिख सकते हो. इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस क्रिस क्रॉस यहाँ पर भी आप सीधा लिख सकते हो एडवांटेज और इसके लिए यहाँ पर disadvantage or limitation. Then we come on to the problems related to, as we have recently discovered, question number 4 को हमने अभी देखा था. Then is explain the role of micro irrigation in sustainable agriculture. Since we क्योंकि यहाँ पर माइक्रो इरिगेशन का टर्म आ गया है, therefore what happens is आप यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम्स लिखोगे पहले जो नॉर्मली इरिगेशन से हो रही है, then you will be explaining about the sustainable development, then you will be writing the micro irrigation and its advantages. Advantages are simple, nothing, because sustainable development से related है, therefore the sustainability has to be maintained throughout. So it is not there in this PDF, but before sharing it with you, I shall make sure that I will write all the points, I will include all the points. So this was all for today. Irrigation has been completed along with the PYQs. Till then, you can watch the lecture throughout and stay connected and keep watching.
Startup Academy presents Lakshya 2027, an exclusive batch designed only for serious ISS aspirants.